Hi, this is Joe Welinske, and I'm speaking with some of the many personalities that will be participating at our ConveyUX event coming up in Seattle in January. And right now I'm speaking with Alastair Somerville. Hello, Alastair.
Hi.
Where are you talking to us from today?
Well, I'm talking from my living room in Stroud in England.
So I'm not familiar with that particular town. So where's that located in the UK?
We're sort of between Birmingham, well, pretty much sort of between Birmingham, Bristol, and London. So we're sort of in the middle of the countryside, the Cotswolds, basically.
All right.
So,
Well,
a very
yeah.
area.
Well, thanks for taking a few minutes for this. I thought maybe we could just start out with you talking a little bit about the type of work that you're involved in and letting us know, what a day in the life is for you.
Right. Yeah, sure. I work in accessibility, but I live in a sort of slightly strange world that it's not the accessibility which is digital, and it's not the accessibility which is about physical redesign of the environment. I work in an area which is to do with designing information for comprehension, and particularly a lot of my work is about tactile design for the blind, in terms of converting information, whether it be text or whether it be visual, into tactile format. So a lot of my work's based around that sort of process of conversion, testing, and understanding how the senses work.
And what is that? Some of the testing consist of when you get involved in your projects.
We test a lot because basically, with designing for the blind or designing when we're designing, we have a problem that our sense of sight when we're designing, and I work with a few people, we we're betrayed by our sense of sight. So what we think may work in testing, and we have to test a lot, is it may not work. We have a good idea of what works in theory, and we have a good idea based on experience, but the testing experience is what really proves whether the work is true or not. And that's why we bin probably about 75% of our work.
And as you pursue that, what are some of the typical? Well, you mentioned I was going to ask about typical challenges, and you mentioned the one about the fact being a sighted person kind of betrays that part of it. Are there any other challenges that you run into that you're always trying to find your way past?
I mean, the standard stuff that we have issues with is with clients trying to explain that, particularly with tactile design, it's an incredibly low bandwidth way of providing information. So the amount of information we're going to provide to the end user is actually going to be probably a lot less than the client hopes. So we have to control expectations that way. And on the other side of it, we have, because all the information is physicalized, we have a lot of manufacturing issues, which, projects where we're having to produce work which has got lifespans into, 2 or 3 decades. So we're torn between information design issues and physical construction issues, in terms of what we make.
And with respect to the information design challenge that you mentioned related to low bandwidth, like what ends up being the solution there? Is it on redefining the way that the content is envisioned from the beginning, or is it a matter of just trying to reduce its footprint in other ways?
Generally, we find that sort of, I mean, particularly when we're doing work in museums, it's we have to keep, and a lot of the work is to do with mapping of galleries or trying to describe galleries and places. A lot of the time, you're trying to walk the space as though you were the user, to try and understand what information is valid and necessary. and then supporting that. So you're trying to support the user journey. You're trying to support what they can't perceive themselves and provide information about, to enhance their experience. So it's you're cutting away a lot of information, but you're trying to find the core information that creates the meaningful user experience.
Well, as you go about your daily work, I'm sure you're always thinking about new things that you want to explore, and I'm sure there's a lot of things that you're particularly interested in working with. So, what are some of the things that you're doing now that that you're passionate about?
I mean, at the moment, well, this year, so um, I've been working the sensory UX stuff, which is an area of key interest because it's bringing across a lot of the information, a lot of the work we've done in research to another area, another arena of use in terms of wearables. But the areas which I'm now developing are some work on behavioral design concepts, in terms of it comes out of a lot of the memory work we do. And also the other area which I'm just this week beginning to start work on is algorithms, and trying to understand how we can talk about algorithms and what they do in terms of how we encode bias into the algorithms, and how do we control that process. So behavior and algorithms are the two areas I'm moving into.
Well, your workshop, you're going to be doing one of the Saturday workshops at the conference, which is a more longer form presentation, and that's the title of that's more making more senses of UX, learning to live and design for a multimodal world of interaction. Are there any thoughts you'd want to share about the general theme of that, or your ideas as you put that workshop together?
Yeah, I mean, it's a workshop which I've run a few times, and it changes every time, because mostly all the workshops I do are me asking questions of the people who are participating, but also questions about what I think's going on. So it's going to be, I mean, all my workshops are very active in terms of there will be a lot of doing, and some of it will be very strange. So there is a warning that don't come to my workshop if you're not expecting something quite odd to occur. But it's trying to explore how senses work, because if we explore how senses work, we can understand how we can design new devices like wearables, like the Internet of Things. Because particularly if there is one lesson which I've learned over the last few times, proximity changes the meaning of content. When information comes close to us physically, it changes. And I think there's whole exercises in looking at what that means, which is one of the core research areas.
Well, I'm looking forward to seeing that work and meeting you when you get to the Seattle area. So we'll see you there in a couple of months.
I'll be very happy to be there.
All right. Thanks a lot, Alistair. I appreciate
Okay.
it.
Thank
Bye.
you.